If you're a fan of superheroes, amazing choreographed fight scenes, and violence, this video is for you. And I promise you would not be disappointed because this video is the series finale for Jupiter's Legacy. I'd like to give a shout out to those of you who have been rocking with me till this point. And I want to remind you guys to like and subscribe. Now let's get into the story. Where we left off in the last video, Walter, the mastermind of this whole evil hero scenario, got his ass beat by his nephew. And now he was pissed off. And because of his ability, being able to control the minds of people around him, everyone around him was fighting. I mean, everyone was just fighting on the streets. His son had to tell him to chill out. And the first thing that came out of his mouth is he has to go. He chose this path from the start. Now he's pissed off because he got his ass beat. But his son came with good news because he did a patrol and found something on the moon that could help them. The machine created by Chloe's kid to track powered individuals. And using this, they were going to end this battle once and for all. Back in the headquarters though, we see Skyfox having a conversation with his son. His son asked him why did he come back? But it wasn't even a question because you're a father now, so you know why I came back. His son then proceeds to ask him again, do you think I'm a good father? Do you think I did okay? And Skyfox thought for a second. He has a family, a wife that loves him and a son. He looked at his son and told him, you are everything I wish I could be. A good father. Be proud. Before he could embrace his son, boom, it began. Brandon, the president of the United States, was grabbing onto his sister's hair, yanking her from the freaking headquarters and slamming her headfirst into the ground, leaving everyone else to fall to their death. But thankfully, they had some flyers in their group, so his son asked them to send him to the Supermax prison. He didn't want to, obviously, because he's his son. And that place was basically built to hold superpowers individuals. But his son promised him he would be okay. And right now, his mom needed help because the heroes have started beating the crap out of her like they always do. Because they're so weak, they cannot fight you one-on-one. They must beat you all together. Pathetic. Anyways, he sends his son and the hero that could shrink to the Supermax prison while he went to help his wife. But he really couldn't. Not only did he not have superpowers and only had the magic stick, Walter was there with his son. Watching this, Walter laughed. How did you possibly think you could face us? We outnumber you 100-1. But Skyfox was here to even the odds. Jumping in the air, he grabbed the truck and pancaked Walter to the ground like a freaking bug. All the heroes were shocked because they thought Skyfox was dead. But clearly he wasn't. He was beating the dog shit out of Walter, with every punch drawing blood. This is what prime heroes are. This is how strong they are. Having the upper hand in this fight, the other heroes wanted to help Walter. His son wanted to help him. But Skyfox was having too much fun. Walter deserved this beating, but Walter was prepared. With one hand, he set Skyfox ablaze. And he was done. Skyfox, who just came into the story, was dead, turned to bone, in front of his child. Frustrated, he lashed out, but Waltz was ready, because at the end of the day, he was still a prime. Looking at this boy, he knew it was pathetic to fight him. He was too weak. So he just turned his head around, seeing a plane overhead, and caused it to crash. Imagine being that powerful that you just flick your hand and a plane just starts crashing. He said to him, you're a hero now. Go save them. And he did. Teleporting into the plane, he put everyone, or rather sent everyone to safety. Every single person on that plane. And he left as well. In the nick of time because the plane crashed in the next panel. But there was no time to celebrate because he still had to face Waltz. And Waltz was a prick. He didn't care about humans. But thankfully Chloe and the other heroes cared because they used their ability to form a shield and carry every civilian to safety. And the other guy just lifted everyone from their houses. They were gods. They were not superheroes, they were literal gods. Watching his sister try to save people, he tried to spark a conversation, but there was no point. She just told him, "Don't talk to me. I'm still going to kill you for what you did." He looked at her and said, "What I did?" Because this prick killed his own father with his bare hands. And he told her father was a slave, but she just looked at him and said, "No, father was a man, a better man than you will ever be." And this enraged him. He didn't care about people too because he struck her with lightning. Literally. The other heroes saw this and attacked her all at once. That was their thing. Gang beatings, because they beat her without remorse, without a conscience. All her allies had to watch helplessly as she was being beaten to death. A man tried to reach her, but Walt simply just covered his mouth and took his staff and was about to bust his head open. But thankfully, he got teleported to his mindscape by that guy who stole his daughter's abilities. He was confused. "How are you doing this?" And he explained that he met his daughter and he took her powers. And in the real world, he was about to beat Walt's ass. But Walt was too experienced with his own abilities. He could do two things at once. While defending himself in the real world, he tried to imprison this guy in his mind. But the both of them kept flipping the tables on each other. So Hutch had to do his thing and provide support, hitting Walt in the real world. But Walt was having the time of his life because this was fun for him. He hasn't cut loose in so long. But Hutch didn't have time for this. His girl was getting her ass beat by her brother and the other heroes. They didn't believe in a one-on-one. But in Supermax, her son was trying to break everyone out, torpedoing himself directly into the prison. But this place was made to hold superheroes. He was not getting in so easily. So when he was caught, it felt like it was over. But he had a plan with his genius level intellect. And his mother was kicking ass. 1 versus 100, and she was still beating everyone, including her brother. You could see he was always jealous of her. He always hated her. He tried to drown her right now, but she was disappointed. "Is that all you got?" She just created a sonic boom with her mouth and dissipated the wave. He was weak, far weaker than her. And Hutch watched from the distance as his girl was kicking ass. So he decided to kick Walt's ass as well. But Walt was him. He was blocking every shot, blasting him back. He even made shadow clones at one point. So Hutch decided finally to use his brain. With a whisper, he commanded the power rod right into the real Walt's head. In an instant, the battle was over. He simply got up and said home, and the rod came back. "That was for my dad, bitch." Back with his son though, the plan was simple. Convince this chick that someone had already broken into the prison, making her call the control room. And as we know, Shrinking Girl can grab onto radio waves and surf it, flying all the way to the control room and releasing every single prisoner held in this place. They finally had their own army, and the army was ready for vengeance. But so was the son of Walt, because he saw Hutch coming and pushed him. He just watched his father die by this guy's hand, wielding a toy, and he promised to break his head open with it. But before he could, a portal opened up and an army of superheroes came marching through, especially his son, who gave this prick a super kick to the jaw, shattering it with one hit. Even Molecule Man got crushed underfoot with one step. When all of this was over, Brandon thought to himself, "Okay, you win. Arrest me." But that was never the plan. Chloe looked at her man and said, "Now." And he sent both of them to Mars. She wanted to beat his ass somewhere she was never afraid to break the planet. And the punches could be heard from Earth. When she was done, there was a big crater on the ground, and she came back. Now it was over. The repairs were being done, and she was with her family. She promised her child not to kill anyone, but to imprison them just like her father would, and take their powers. And she did it. When everything was done, the mourning of Skyfox was done as well. Hutch took his father's mantle and he became the new Sky Fox. Everyone was where they were meant to be. It was time to address the people. Wearing the suit of her mother, stepping forward, she addressed the nation, apologizing for the crimes of the past tenure of heroes and vowing to do better, vowing not to lead them, but to help them when help is needed, vowing to be true heroes. But while all this was going on, Kid Utopian was looking at his grandfather's research to three unanswered questions. What are we? Who made us? And why do we love our kids so much? A good mystery for another time. The story had come to an end, finding solace in the fact that all of them in their family had secret identities. They could go out as a family for once, no longer on the run, and enjoy their time together. This is the end of this fantastical story. I hope you enjoyed it, and please like and subscribe. God bless you.